Following his historic arraignment in Miami, former President Trump made a stop at a popular Cuban restaurant in Little Havana and met with Hispanic supporters. Tonight, experts believe it was a calculated move.
Yeah, their read on this is that Trump was not only vying for the Hispanic vote, but also hoping to gain support from potential jurors. CBS News Miami's Yvonne Taylor has more on this.
When we talk about Latinos and former President Donald Trump in South Florida, people associate him to places like this, because many of the patrons, or most of them, are Cuban Americans who fled communism and or dictatorial regimes. So now Mr. Trump is saying that he's facing something similar, and that is a message that is getting attention. Only a day before former President Donald Trump entered Versailles Restaurant, shaking hands and yelling "Viva Cuba," he did a live call interview with Americano Media, a conservative Spanish media network based out of South Florida.
There is a regression.
During the interview, Trump described his indictment as a regression of democracy.
What we're seeing here is the type of thing, Mr. President, that sadly happens in Latin America.
But there's been an incredible love fest between the Hispanic community and myself.
Based on a post on his Truth social media platform, former President Trump experienced some of that love fest Tuesday with some supporters in Little Havana, most of them Cuban Americans who see him as a political prisoner of the Biden administration.
I think it's a rigged deal here. We have a rigged country. We have a country that's corrupt.
According to the New York Times, Mr. Trump has been particularly focused on persuading Latinos, a strategy that may be both political and legal. It is possible that the jury pool could be drawn by registered voters in Miami-Dade County, where, according to census data, nearly 70% of the population identified as Latino.
Well, just because his initial appearance and arraignment took place here in Miami yesterday, that doesn't mean this case is going to be tried in Miami-Dade County.
Attorney David Weinstein, former state and federal prosecutor, told CBS News Miami that Trump case was filed and sent to West Palm Beach to a judge who tries cases in that district.
And the composition of the jury pool there, it's different than it is in Miami-Dade County.
Trump has said that Latino voters in Florida are the ones who understand him, especially those coming from Cuba, Nicaragua, and Venezuela. Attorney Weinstein, focused on the legal aspect of the case, says the task will be to find 12 jurors who can put aside their biases. He says it may take longer, but it has happened before. Attorney Weinstein says that there is a very high likelihood that we will get to the next presidential election, and this case against former President Donald Trump may very well not be solved. In Little Havana, Yvonne Taylor, CBS News, Miami.